Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. I want to first address this question. And so let's take a look at that. Can you revamp it again for me? I think I've got it, but I just want to have your revamping of it.
Look at my chart here.
Something about crisscross.
Let me just look at the chart. Are the four basic areas the emotional heart, spiritual spirit, intellect, brain, and physical body? Are they clearly partitioned, or is there sort of an overlap between them? And can you reside in any one, two, three, or all four at the same time? And what does that feel like? What is that like?
Okay, really valid question. And I can only speak for myself on this and my understanding of it, if that helps in any way. You have those four basic areas within your physical structure. You know, you've got, those are part of your physical structure, your form. Not knowing that you have the other four connected in the way that they are, has left us using quieting down the mind, trying to funnel things through the heart. The energy gets explosive. We end up getting stressed or sick, or things happen all within this cycle of the physical form, right? But what we don't realize is, because we're connected up, our spirit can get tired, our soul can get tired, or other things are happening that we're not aware of. So when you keep going through that cycle of those four bodies in the physical alone, you call out, right? When you're stressed, when you're scared, what do? You call out for help, right? And you're not realizing that you're calling out to what you're connected to. And the physical form is wanting that recognition of connection, because they want that assistance, they want that help, and they want that understanding of it in form. So you have those four moving parts within your physical form, and they all try to make up for each other, right? So you're going from your head to your heart, to what you feel energetically, and to your spirit, and you keep going around in those chains. With this automatic connection, what you're not realizing is that the brain is wanting to receive from the spiritual mind. The brain knows that it's connected to the spiritual mind, but it's being told not to do what naturally comes to it, which is receive the information directly from the spiritual mind. Spiritual mind. And then you receive a message. Oh, where did that come from? That can't be right, like he says. I don't think that's quite right. I don't know where that come from. Or you know it without a doubt, because when the spiritual mind and the physical brain connect and the receiving is strongly there as a knowing, it automatically goes to the heart. It gets sent to the heart to feel that knowing, discern that message. We could go on and on and on and on for years, but I want to try and simply get to your question. Those connections are already in when you're born. You don't come in disconnected. You come in connected. There's no reason for you to come in disconnected. No purpose of being informed to come in disconnected. Why are you informed? Why are you informed?
Oh, you're asking me to learn, to reconnect. I guess ideally you should be in the center of this four-pole field, I guess you look at it. That is that a way of looking at it? In other words, you come in that way, let's say balanced, where you have equal and facility and access to each of these areas, and you're balanced in the middle somehow. And then as your ego develops, it sort of pulls you away from that central balance point to where you get drawn into the, I guess, the physical body or the intellect too much, and you need to reestablish that central balance point. Is that basically what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, immediately coming in, you have all these four bodies in action and motion,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
That
When you
keeps
first
the
come in, are
physical.
they in balance? I guess we could sort of assume that.
Yeah,
And
those the physical bodies are working to
mm-hmm.
keep the body alive.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Let's just go to that first level. The brain is active, the heart is active, the spirit is inside. The first breath you take, spirit comes into the form. Last breath you take, spirit leaves the form. So we know the spirit's in the form, right? You're breathing, your heart's working, your mind's working. And what's the other one?
Of the four?
Yeah.
Well, the spirit's working, but the ego's developing simultaneously.
I'm just looking at the four bodies right now. So we got the heart, the mind, the spirit. What's the other one?
The heart, the mind, the spirit, and the physical body.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah. The physical body. Right.
Right. So if you take all of those four and you just call it the physical body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the physical body runs on all those other three things going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your physical body isn't working well, what's happening with the other three things? Your brain's going to be affected with your thoughts. Your heart's going to be saddened because you don't feel good, right? And
Mm-hmm.
your spirit may be low.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all those four things work together for the form to be here. Okay. So we can walk around with a brain and a heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we could breathe just through spirit, and there should be no other reason for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so critical that we take our first breath and the spirit enters our form? And why is it so critical that little ones can close their eyes and see things in the universe and bring the messages through their physical brain? Because they're receiving that information all around, right? They're not shut down. They're not told that that doesn't work, or they're not connected at all. They're not told that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how is it that children's love and caring is just as natural as their breathing?
Well, because it hasn't been corrupted by a malformed ego along the way.
I've heard the word ego in this one meeting so many times. What is it with the ego?
It's the problem. It's the central problem.
How is it the central problem?
Because it's malformed, I think, as we get older in a multitude of ways. And for me, it's a question of identifying it first to know what the problem is, and then how do you go about circumventing it and fixing it or correcting it, or at least
Where
not
does
listening.
ego come from for you? What's your understanding of where ego comes from?
It's a program that's developed as we age, and it is a complex combination of outside programming and internal malprocessing and poor decision making. And I think we receive two voices, as I understand it, the ego and spirit, and it's a question of identifying which is which. And the ego can be misinterpreted as being a spiritual information or input, and that's the problem, is being able to identify which is which. That's the one of the big challenges, I think, in spiritual development, is to identify the ego for what it is. There's, I think, in the Course in Miracles, they talk about right mind and wrong mindedness. It's a question of moving from wrong mindedness to more right mindedness, to do more, I guess, deep critical thinking, and to identify the tricks the ego plays to become identified as spirit. The ego is very clever, and but it can be circumvented with an awful lot of work, as I understand it.
Let's take this over to the heart for a second.
Apparently, and other people like that, very few apparently.
This is a really good topic and a really good conversation. I'm really not picking on you, but how you're sharing is allowing me to share. I'll pick on you another time, but right now I'm not. So, let's go and let's replace the ego and let's go over to the heart for a minute. Okay. So what happens if your heart is closed off or hardened? What's your reaction then?
It'll be mostly, you'll mostly be drawing on the intellect, I guess, at that point. When you close off any of these portals, then you draw on the other three.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Yeah. What you want is a balanced
What
access.
about your emotions? Right? So what about if your heart is closed off, or from pain or hurt or just fear of showing them? What happens with your emotional body when something like that is happening to your heart?
It just closes down. You shut down. I think that part of your life will be shut down and not enjoyed. Especially, I guess, if it becomes too painful, you just shut down as a defense mechanism against having it cause more damage to your life.
So you make that choice. You make that choice over time, or something happening and that it just does it automatically, or
depends
you
how much willpower you have to overcome it, to first identify it for what it is. It's a problem, and that you need to, I guess, in a sense, try to reprogram yourself outside of the already existing ego program, if you want to call it that. And you have
going back to ego with the heart,
mental capacity beyond the programming of the ego, which is contained within the mind, but not the entirety of it.
But pain is not always ego. Pain is not ego. Pain, things that have hurt you cause you to shut your heart down. That's not ego, is it?
Well, it's a form of physiological programming, I guess, isn't it?
No, it's being human. You get hurt, you shut the hell down. Simple. There's no master plan. There's no automatic. Your heart doesn't gang up on you and say, I ain't doing this no more. You choose. You choose to shut down that heart because it's too painful for you to go through. It's your damn choice. Can't blame the universe, your heart, or anything else. Right?
Is this a conscious choice, or is this something that's automatic and subconscious process, or a conscious process? I guess
people can handle variations. People can handle more pain than others, and they don't shut down because they choose to keep going, to try and fix this, to try. Like you said, there's a will. I just want you to know, if there's a will, I'm in it. That's all I know. So anyways, we're going back to the heart, right? So
this is one question originally, right?
No, it's great. Yeah. It's great because we're getting somewheres. Okay, you're choosing your choice. Okay, now you can only choose things you know about. Would that be fair?
Right. That's the conscious choice, right?
Right. I know you can only consciously choose what you know about.
Right.
Okay. So you come in here not knowing right? That
Mhm.
your spiritual mind has to be received, the information has to be received through your physical brain. Okay,
Mhm.
that's the connection.
Mhm.
You don't know that, but your brain does. So every time you're telling your brain, close down so I can receive spirit or information, the brain's coming back at you. It's frustrated. And sometimes that's being seen as ego. But the
Mhm.
brain's trying to tell you, buddy, I can't operate like that. I'm already plugged in. Let it flow. Right. And that
Mhm.
is some of the information of the ego.
Mhm.
Okay. That is the frustration of the physical brain trying to receive through the spiritual mind, but you're telling the brain, go away. So you can't
Mhm.
receive that information, but you're praying for that information every day. Do you see the cycle they've got you in?
So the brain is internally, automatically seeking spirit, but you're consciously trying to
Yes.
control,
Yes.
to turn it off. That's the internal conflict that's
Mhm.
going on, right?
So then you
The
get people who
conscious
can
and
connect with
unconscious.
spirit, right? And their brain is functioning and receiving. They think they're the be all end all. They're God's incarnate because they can do it. Yes, look at me.
Mhm.
Right? Everybody can do it.
I've had my time.
So part you're reclaiming your time. So here's what I'm saying. Ego does play a lot in our lives, but some of it is not ego. Some of it you have to take a deeper look at, right? I come off sometimes to people as egotistical because I'm passionate and I'm confident in gifts. I'm passionate and I'm confident, but I'm not egotistical in any way, shape, or form. But I'm passionate and I'm confident and I know what I know. And I'm going to share it the way that I know it. And I'm going to be open enough to hear how other people share it. Because I don't know everything, right? I learn a lot from
Right.
everybody. So, yes, the heart is connected to the emotional body and the light body because the heart funnels the energy. Okay. The energy of what? Light and love. That's the energy that the heart funnels. So you can't bring all the love that you are into this form at any given time. It will burn out all your nervous system, right?
Mhm.
And when you need more, you open your heart to receive more from your light body. More light equals more love. That is the currency there. Okay. So that one's funneling okay. And then somebody breaks your heart physically. Well, that emotion, which is energy in motion, has to travel. Either you hold it inside and let it fester, or you try and let it go as you can to heal from that pain, right? And it goes directly to your light beam to be transferred back into light and come back in through as love. Okay? Not with me, are you?
Somewhat I have to think about
All right. So
brain
in the middle,
process that That's right.
so even though each four of these physical bodies are connected automatically to each four of these etheric bodies, doesn't mean those connections are there. Like you don't take off from the heart and go over to the brain and, oh, I want to plug that in there and see how that works. That's not how you do it. So that was your question. No. But that doesn't mean that through all those 8 infinity lines and connections, that energy and light and sound, which is what we're all made up of. And believe it or not, this is exactly what the earth is made up of. Continues in and through those 8 connectors. That way, that is our whole being, our whole essence. We never lose a speck of who and what we are while we're in form. Thus, the purpose of those connections being given right at birth. Could you imagine what essence and energy you'd be losing of your whole being if you did not have that connection automatic?
Mhm.
So I invite you, don't let anyone know, anyone tell you you're not connected. You're already connected. Now, to get a deeper connection or a deeper understanding, you go through those 8 connector points, which create your Merkaba, which create your energy lines of infinity, continuously, not losing one iota of the spark of the creator that you are. Nobody can take that unless you give it away. Nobody can tamper with that in any way, shape, or form. Those 4 connections in physical and etherical are untouchable. And they're untouchable because of the heart, because of the light being. The light being is untouchable. And what they're after is to keep you unknowing and unrealizing that you are connected in that way. So then you got to learn spirit, don't you? And you got to go chasing the connection that you already have. And you got to follow their chakra blueprint, which is for another day. And you got to take on all of these programs, spiritual programs too, that they brought forward to keep us guessing how to be connected. I want to go find myself. I don't know who I am. Okay, so your spirit's connected to what? Your soul. The silver cord from the spirit to the soul. Why is that? So that you have access at any given time to your soul memory. It's right there. So you say, soul, I see ya. You're like 5 feet down the road. You get over here. It's time to work with me. I want to work with my soul every day. I invite you into my life. I want to work with my soul now. I want to have my memories from my soul. So you invite the soul in and you work with the soul.
So the inherent connections are there. It's a question of removing these constructed blockades to the normal flow that's there. That's what it's a process of removing things that we've constructed to block these normal flow patterns. Is that
Just
that's the
recognize that you are
process?
connected.
Not
All you have to do is recognize.
Yeah, you're inherently connected, but you've blocked those connections.
Well,
And
you
that's
don't know that you're connected, so you go seeking those
Mhm.
connections, and they're already there. What a
Mhm.
magical thing.
Mhm.
This is a game changer. It's a complete game changer. You're already doing it. Now allow all those connectors to be open and flow. All that I need to know, feel, remember, and be. All that. All that I need to know, feel, be. I call that in. And yeah, you'll read books, you'll go and listen to people talk, and you will absolutely have the validation, right, from what they say or what they do, right? I've picked up, I've really wanted the keys of Enoch, the white one, for years and years and years. I want that for my birthday. I want that for my birthday. I got it. I looked at 3 or 4 pages and went, okay. And my husband went, do you know what it took to get that book here? Yeah, I just wanted to check a couple things. because of validation. Once I opened up and looked at the book, it validated the reason why I wanted that book, because I knew it contained something that would validate my soul memory. But I didn't have to memorize every word in that book. I was just looking for the part that I knew I needed to have, the missing link. I'm going on too far, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to say, thanks for the question. They can work together, but you don't unplug the alignment that they are, right? You work in and through all of those four connecting pieces. So if you're only working in the physical part and something's not working, what does that connect to? Okay, I'm not connecting to the spiritual mind. I call you in, work, thank you, and let it go. You don't have to analyze how it works. It'll automatically flow.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth.